Hi, I'm Chef Karl from WildIndiana Magazine, and in the dead of winter today we are harvesting watercress. Watercress is extremely versatile as a chef's repertoire. In a salad, as a tossed component going with the dish, sauteed even. We're doing a recipe in the magazine that has a hot preparation with it, which isn't as common as it being served cold, but it was a nice variety and it's something I'd make at home quite often. As a component by itself, with the pepper and the texture, it's great as mixed in with other greens if it's too peppery, which I don't find it that way, but some people might when they first started eating it until they get used to it. But tossed with a simple vinaigrette and placed with chicken, fish, pork, it will go literally with everything. There's a lot of famous steakhouses in New York City that still serve watercress with their steaks because of that peppery flavor and that contrast of textures. Not only is it great on salads and other components or sauteed, but try it on a sandwich instead of lettuce. There's a lot of sandwiches that they'll put watercress on, and it gives a pop of flavor and texture that's different than iceberg lettuce or romaine or other things that we might consider. Hiking with my son several years ago. We were down here, there was a foot of snow on the ground, it was 10 degrees. My son loves to hike in the winter, and I noticed that there's green items growing in the water when everything else was frozen and dead. It came by accident, just a silly accident. It will grow wild out through Indiana. It needs good, healthy, fresh water to grow, ideally, or somewhat of a wet area. It's aquatic or semi-aquatic, but it doesn't need a lot of water, but it'll grow prolifically. You know, as long as it's above an area that would be a flood zone, I'm more than comfortable with it. I eat this raw several times throughout the month, and never had any issues. If you are concerned about it, I would always say to go to higher ground and pick it. Get away from wherever a river or a stream or something could backflow into it. Growing in the water, no. If you see, when we look down the water around us, the only thing growing in the water right now is this and a few blades of grass, because the water is running warmer so it can grow some grass. But no, I've never found anything that grows alongside it or next to it that you would misconstrue to be watercress. It grows so prolifically, especially once it gets warmer. Once it goes to seed, it tends to get a little bitter and a little astringent to the point that a lot of people won't enjoy it. I was just traveling back in the summer, and I let it go to seed in my yard because I was gone. And I come back, and then all of a sudden I have watercress popping up all through my yard where it shouldn't be growing, but it grew. This is going to cost between $30 to $35 in a restaurant setting. It's normally sold by the count of bunches, which here doesn't really matter for most people, but this would be a $30, $35. Not an inexpensive green, it's actually one of the more expensive ones. You know, because I just picked it and it's so fresh, I'm a less is more kind of guy. So I'll take it home, I'll wash it, I'll dry it off, I'll toss it with a simple vinaigrette, and tonight I'm going to be serving with pork tenderloin medallions and with a little bit of a barbecue vinaigrette. It's just something simple but pepper and rich and refreshing, and being the dead of winter, I'm already hoping for barbecue season, so it gets me fast forward to the spring.
vibrant